Good everyone, welcome to CodeLight Academy. Today I'm going to be taking you guys on the practical example on what we have been discussing throughout the HTML crash course on our playlist. Okay, so first of all, what I actually did, I created a new folder. Here's the folder. I titled the folder to be HTML crash course, and I created a new file and named it index.html, making it an HTML file. Alright, after that I opened the folder on my VS Code. When you click on this, you see open folder. You open the folder by locating the directory. Then after that I loaded it on a live server. Alright, so which allows it to automatically reload. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to input the basic structure of HTML, which we all know to be doc type HTML, the HTML, the head, title, then the body. Alright, so I'm going to increase the title to be HTML crash course. So first of all, I'm going to increase this so we can all see it. Alright, so I feel this is a bit too much. Let's reduce it and close that up. Yeah, let's do it like this. Alright, so I hope it's real visible for us to see. Alright, so doc type HTML signifies that the document type being inputted right now is an HTML file. Then HTML includes everything in a web page. This lang is an attribute that signifies the language should be English. Then we have a head which defines the web page, and the title gives a name to the web page, and it's located at the top right bar of our browser. So if you look at this, we have our HTML crash course right over here as the title. So we have our body that contains the details of the web page. So what I'm going to be taking you guys on today is based on how we can implement tag in our HTML to form something nice. So I'm going to take you guys on different tags and their uses today. Okay, let's go ahead and start. Now I'm going to start with the heading. So see H1 heading 1. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this 6 times because we have 6 headings. So let's just check that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I'm going to change this H2. Change this to H3, change it to H4, going to change it H5, and here to H6. Okay, so literally that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to load this in my browser right now. So we have our heading 1 to heading 6. Okay, let me change this right here. 2, 3, let's make it 4, 5. Yeah, it should be 6. So now we've got that reloaded here. Alright, so the simple notation here is that the heading 1 is the largest, followed by heading 2, followed by heading 3, and it goes on like that. Now the attribute of this heading are they have bold and they have large font size. Okay, they are bold and they have large font size, and the font size decreases as this number here increases. Do you understand? As the heading number increases, the font size decreases, but the attribute that remains constant is being bold. Okay, and we just have heading 1 to heading 6, which means heading 6 is the smallest out of the 6 heading that we have. Alright, so I'm going to move on to explaining what block level element is and inline element. Okay, so let's just type this 20. So I'm going to break this down. Right, so I'll explain this a couple of minutes. Alright, so I'm gonna do this again. Then right here we bold. Okay, so now what I'm trying to explain here is the difference between block level elements and inline elements. Okay, block level elements are those elements that take the full width of our screen. Okay, and inline elements are those elements that fit the width in which they contain. Alright, so in other words, block level elements are those elements that are displayed in block form, while inline elements are those elements that are in line. So you understand what block and inline means in CSS, alright, which is cascading style sheets. Okay, well, the simple explanation right now I can give as a beginner is that block level elements are those elements that take the full width of the screen and do not allow any other content to stay beside it, while inline elements are those elements that they fit the width in which the element content contains. You understand? So I'm going to briefly show you a quick review on what I'm saying. So if you look at this very well, okay, I'm going to bring out my we call this inspect mode. We inspect our code through this. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down. Let me just drop this down. Okay, so you can see what we're doing. So this is literally what we're typing here, or we've been typing here, that's just showing here. Okay, so now if you notice, our H1 is taking the full width of the screen. Look at this. Let me just click on this. Is taking the full width of the screen. Now if you take a look at our paragraph is also an example of block level element, because as you can see, it is taking the full width of the screen. Alright, so if you look at our italics, which is an example of an inline element, the width of the element content is contained how long the element content is. Okay, so the more the length, the more the element content increases, so as the width also increases. You understand? So it's just like it's actually like allowing other content to be beside it because it's an inline element. You understand? So any object, any content that is in the tag that is inline fits the width. You understand? So moving on to bold is also an example of inline element. So you can just take a look at the difference. Now this is taking the full width, and this what we call natural padding and margin. Let's go through it. Okay, see, if you look down here, it's displayed block. That's why it's actually having the attribute of block. Then font size is 2em, so you're going to understand that later. So this em is a way of measuring size, or like adding size, like a way of measuring size. Okay, so we have the font weight to be bold. Like I said, that's natural. This is called natural CSS that have been imposed on this particular tag. It have been imposed on it. So let's check our bold and italics. Now the italics is not displayed block, but it has the font style to be italics. That's why it is what italicized. Alright, so let's check for bold. So the bold is just that font weight is what bold. So you see the different properties for these two tags. Those are what forms the block and the inline elements. Now you look, the paragraph is also displayed to be block. So in simple term, any tag that the natural CSS or the natural styling is set, the display is set to be block, is an example of what block level elements. You understand? So that's just the whole explanation I've been trying to give, because this is actually taking the full width of the screen, because naturally it has been given that to be displayed with block. So that's what the whole syntax is for. So what I'm going to do now is, for this to drop to the next line, I'm going to add BR tag. So BR tag is an example of empty element. An empty element are those elements that don't actually need a closing. Now if you want to go about closing it, you just add a slash in front and you've closed it. Okay, that's it. But I'm not going to do that. So break is trying to signify that it's taking the content after to the next line. You understand? So I'm trying to say, okay, after this italics right here, we'll leave a line and put the next thing there. You understand? So that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, this text is italicized. After this text is italicized, skip a line and we'll move to the next line and put the next content. You understand? So if I put to break, if I to break, I'm trying to say after this test is initialized, skip 2 lines and put it to the third line. You understand? So if I put 3, if I put 3 break, I'm trying to say skip 3 lines, then put the next. You understand? So that's just the logic with break. It's trying to put the next content to the next line, okay, or to the line in which you schedule to be in. Alright, so I'm going to leave this like this, and I'm going to basically move on to different tags that we have. Alright, so we have mark tag. Mark. So I'm going to do that mark tag. This is used to add highlight to the test. Okay, so the function of this mark tag is to add yellow highlights to a test. Now, because of the break that we added here, you see the space in between. That's because of the break. Normally, it's meant to be on the same line. So if I just cancel this out, we have this on the same line. So because of the function of the break, skipping 2 lines each, that's what is making this work. Okay, like this. Alright, so I'm moving on to the next tag. So we have, I'm going to break it again because most tags that I'm using right now is a line tag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add strike. So this is used to put a line through an object or test, through an object or test. Now this is usually going to be like a line through in it. So you would have come across an e-commerce website whereby they slash the price. So this is what they use. This is the signifying what they use basically, or they use the CSS attributes. Okay, so I'm going to do, we have a tag that does the same thing. Is used to put a line through a test. Test the objects. So it's just similar to break strike tag. So that's similar to it. So move on to the next. I have BR. Just go BR. Then we have U. This is used to underline a test. So as you can see, the U is used to underline a test. So we have this test underlined. Then we have similar functions, similar tags that have the same function with it. So we have insert. This is also used to underline test. So we have the same function there. So moving on to the next. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add mark Q. This is used to make test move from right to left, then left to right. I'm going to explain this then. Top to bottom, or and what bottom to top, based on the specific direction you set it to. Alright, so now the main function of the marquee tag is to make a test move either from the right to the left, or the left to the right, or top to bottom, or bottom to top, based on the specific direction. Now the direction we're talking about here is the attribute direction, so we're going to move on to the attributes very soon. Alright, so The attributes is usually used to add more effect or more meaning to a particular tag, give more attribute to it. So if I put direction, if I put direction should be equals to, let me say right. Now we'll get this moving at the opposite direction, making it move what? Sorry about that. Okay, behavior. Scroll. Okay, am I making any mistake? Okay, yeah. So now, because I set the direction to be from the right, it's going to be moving from the left towards the right. So why it was actually, without the direction right now, if I actually remove the direction, the automatic or the natural movement is going to be from the right to the left. Why? Because your system alignment normally is the left. Okay, so in your Word document, when you want to type, the typing starts from the left. Alright, same thing goes with this. Now why it is moving from the right going to the left? Because the specific direction it is left. The natural direction is left, so it's going to be moving from the right going to the left. So if I set the direction to go from right, it's going to move from what? Left to the right. Okay, so that is it. If the direction is set to top, it's going to move from bottom to the top. So if the direction is set to bottom, it's going to move from what? Top to bottom. So based on the direction, now let's just give you a brief explanation on that. Now it's set to the right, direction is set to the right, so it's going to move from the left to the right. You understand? Then if I change it to up, it's going to move from what? Bottom to the top. Alright, if I set it to down, it's going to move from what? Down to the from top to bottom. Alright, so that's just what this marquee is used for. Alright, so since we've gotten into attributes, I'm going to give more example on attributes now. So I'm going to create a paragraph tag, paragraph LOM 5. Let's just do it. Now the attributes is used to add more effects or more function, like I said earlier on, give more meaning to an information based on the tag. Alright, so if I come in and I put the style attributes, we have style attributes, and I say color should be red. So now this is trying to signify that the color of this particular text should become what? Red. You can see here it's red. Alright, so that's the function of what? Style attributes. We have different attributes. We have the href attributes. Now the href attributes works with the anchor tag. Now I'm going to come here and go click to go to Google. So if I come here and I put HTTPS and just give it google.com, now this is automatically saying once you click on this link, take me to Google. So the href attribute is the one locating the source of what you want, where you want to go. You understand? So this trying to tell me that okay, when I click on this, it should take me to what? Google. So it's going to locate the source. You understand? So that's the essence of the href attributes. Okay, so now if I set here to be target underscore blank, so this trying to say create a new page to search for this. So once I click on this, it's going to create a new page to look for it. You see it? It's going to create a new page to look for this source. So that's the essence of the anchor tag. Alright, so I'm sure we understand that. Okay, now let's move on to the next, which is the combination of two or more tags, which they are called to be nested elements. Now I want to do something real quick. I want to comment. So I'm going to name this to be heading. Now let's signify this to be what? test formatting. Okay, now come here. This is where attributes begins. HTML attributes. Okay, so let me briefly explain what comment is for. Comment is used for the advantage of the programmer and will not be displayed on the web page. Now you can see there's nothing like the heading, the text formatting, nothing like that here. It's for the advantage of the programmer and will not be displayed on the web page. Alright, so moving on to the next, like I said, nested elements. So I'm going to create comment to signify nested elements. So nested elements is a combination of two or more tags. So coming right here, I'm going to create a tag paragraph. Then I'm going to say why this is paragraphed. Make the text that's going to be in it bold. Then underline the text that's in it. Then after you underline the text, make it italicized. Then I'm just going to keep putting basic function. This text has been formatted. Let me just use that as significant to it. So let me just see text has been formatted. Okay, so that's all. So what this is going to bring us is that it's going to make this text to be paragraphed. Now let's just check this inspect. So you can just right click and inspect. Okay, so now let me just show you what I actually did here. Now if you scroll down to the nested element, which is this paragraph here, now let's check the attributes. For paragraph, it remains in the bold. We have the bold, font size bold. Then inside the font size we have underline, which is text decoration underline. Then you look at this, then mark, which is what italicized, which is setting the font style to be italicized. Then mark, adding the background text. Background color should be marked, then the color should be marked text. Alright, so all these attributes are being combined in one. That's the essence of the nested. Nested elements is like the combination of two or more tags to produce an output. You understand? Combination of two or more tags to produce an output. So that's the essence of nested elements. So right about now, we've talked about attributes. We talk about nested elements. We have different attributes. So I just discussed the href and the style attributes. We still have the title attribute. Let me just go about with the title attribute. So under the attributes, I'm still going to come here, going to create let me just do something quick. Div is actually a tag that is used to create a box. Okay, so I'm going to start this. I'm going to say the width should be 300 pixels, then height 400 pixels, then background should be like red. So this pixel is a way of measuring size or quantity in programming. In programming. So basically we have pixel, we have em, we have rem, we have percentage, we have different measuring tools for it. Okay, so I'm basically using pixel here. So if we come here to load this, we have a box here with a width and height of 300 and 400 pixels. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add title. This is a box. Okay, sorry, there's an error here. Okay, sorry. Alright, so this title can only be seen when you hover on this particular. When you hover on it, you see this is a box as the title. Alright, so we can actually do the same with text. Let's just come here at the end of the day for this paragraph. I'm just going to come here and put title. You can have so more attributes in one tag. So, and I forgot to say this, the title, the attributes is being placed in the opening tag. Right, the attribute is placed in the opening tag. So I'm just going to say it is going to take you to Google. Okay, so right now, since this is not available for now, so I'm going to hash this. So no matter how you click on this particular link, it's going to take you nowhere. Right, so that's the function. So when you come here, you see it is going to take you to Google. So basically now when you click on this countless times, just going to hash it bring this back. Okay, so that's the essence of this. So we'll move to the next. On to the next. We have different attributes, so we'll do more. I'll drop the zip file of this in the description link below, so you can check what attribute that I'm going to use in this. So on to the next. All right. So what I'm going to be taking us today, again, after nested elements, is, since we've discussed nested elements, attributes, heading, and how you can change color. Okay, about touch. Now we can use the font color, so it goes to red, size so it goes to 10, and come here and just put now this is going to increase the font size and the font color of this. That's the essence of the font tag, right? So anything concerning font is basically used to change the layout of text. We would have seen it in our Microsoft Word, using changing the font color, font size, font family, font style, and all that. So that's what I literally just did here. So I just changed the color to be red. You can still come here and change it to be blue, then change it to 5. Right, so this is going to reduce the size and change the color to what? Blue. Okay, so we have that right over here. So we're going to implement all what we've learned to create a particular stuff that's going to make sense though. So let's go on with that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file. Let's just color this out again. I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to name it let me see what I'm going to name it. Let me just name it about it HTML. Okay, so close this. I'm going to do this sharply. Alright, let me say about HTML crash course. So we're going to use what we've learned here to create something good. Yeah. Alright, so let's move on. Okay. We can do this. Alright, so we have different tags we're going to use. Okay. So first of all, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the header tag. Okay, then the nav tag. You can just, the header tag is used to create an head, like an header section of it. Okay, then the nav is used for basically menu or navigation, to navigate stuff. Alright, so I'm going to create the H1, which we all know. Then I can just put CodeLight. Alright, so paragraph. I'm just showing you a basic thing that we can create using HTML. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to float this to the right. Okay, then in this I'm creating my anchor tag, which is my A. So once I create this, I'm going to hash it, like I said earlier on, that once you hash this, no matter how you click on it, it's not going to take you to any page. Alright, so I'm going to add a space in here. Okay, so duplicate. So let's just do about. Okay, contacts us, then you just see terms and policy. So I'm just showing you on quick thing. Let's just open this with, let me just link it here. So you just come here. So I'm going to set this to be about.html, allowing me to link this with the about page, because located in the same directory. So later on, as we move on in this course, I'm going to explain how to link between different directories. Alright, so I'm going to go to about. Okay, so I'm just going to increase the font size using the font tag. So I'm going to say size should be equals to, say, 10. Just going to do that, then close this right over here. So let's come back here. We see. Alright. Let's see what will be over here. Okay, so we have this here. Go to about. Alright, so now this is trying to say once you click on this, take us to about page. Now if you look at this, we have this a little bit messed up over here. So this is literally what I'm doing there. Okay, so I'm floating this to the right hand side. So let's just do something quickly. Let's make here a 9 elements so that it will be on the same line, because paragraph is alright, let's do something nice. Okay, so I'm doing, I took that off then exactly. So the space, here, spacing. So we have what we call character entities, and character entities using and NBSP. So the NBSP is used to give spacing in between. It just used to add space, basically just give space. Yeah, that's what the character entity is for. So the more I add an NBSP, the more spacing we get. So you see a little bit space between here. So I feel okay. Now we have the spacing here, so let's just add more spacing between this. Just double copy this and paste it right over here. Paste it here. Paste it here. So we should have a little bit of spacing. Now we have spacing here, so we got our spacing right over here. So this is it, this is that. Okay, so I can just come over here. Now coming over there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add the main content of what we're doing. Alright, so what I'm going to do right here is just very simple. I'm going to create the main tag, which is containing the main details of this whole stuff that I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, use the center tag. Using the center tag, just come here, close the center. So I'm trying to centralize this, so you can go about checking the use of most of these tags. So I'm going to name this CodeLight, alright, because that's the name of my brand. Okay, so I'm going to paragraph this, then add lorem 50, because just duplicate this. So if you have so this is actually looking good, but we can manage this. Let's just go back to the old page and come here and just add the target blank. So it will literally just open this in a new tab. So when I click on this, it's going to open this in a new tab. So let's just close this. Okay, so this is how you link two pages together. Alright, so very easy and very sweet to go. So that will be all for today. See you guys in our next class. Thank you.